Well, welcome back in. As a parent, it can be hurtful. Like you take it personally when your kid doesn't want to talk to you about something big in their lives. But it really is important that they have a trusted adult beyond a parent that they can speak to and confide in. And that's what we're talking about today with parenting expert Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Such a good topic because there is a new study that's out that kind of delves into this.
Yeah, it's a fun headline. There's real research behind it, but it's kind of like, it was focused on girls. Every girl needs an aunt kind of thing.
Totally.
And, that is the dream, isn't it? Right. And so I think what the study was really showing, though, on a higher level is just that kids really thrive when they have someone outside of their family that they can confide in, that they can tell jokes to, that they just have that little bit of that special relationships. And so this really just is shining a light on how can we cultivate that for kids? Who are the people that could possibly be that person? Yep. Almost like mentors, but they could be aunts, uncles, grandparents, but just that emphasis on it. And I know, I can think about that, how important an outside person is to kids that are growing up.
100%. And interesting, you said aunt, and I love that. As an only child, I'm like, oh, I can't provide that to my kiddos. Can it be someone who's not in the family? And what does that look like?
Yeah, it can be. So some people call somebody an aunt or uncle who's not related by blood. They're just your very best friend, your oldest childhood friend, right? So it could be that aunt. It's really, truly a trusted adult, somebody who's also going to be consistently in their lives. And that doesn't have to be in person. It can be on the phone. It can be on FaceTime. But the role that they play is really interesting because it's not just showing up and being fun and being cool and getting them extra ice cream. It's it's a little bit of that, but it's also that person who they can confide in, and that person has to hold that line, right? So if I'm your bestie.
Oh, I was just going to ask that. I'm like, but can they tell me what they said?
Right? Probably not really. Oh. They have to use their judgment, right? If they're concerned, of course, they should say, hey, I think this is something we should talk about. But really, it should be, if they have a crush, if they did a little something, it's got to be that person's discernment almost to be like, all right, I'm not going to tell Alex, even though I know she'd want to know, right? But it's almost like, I think a really good idea is to have that conversation. Like right now, if someone's thinking of someone and they're smiling, as they get older, when they're 7 and 8, the stakes aren't so high, but maybe once they start middle school, right? And you can just say to somebody, hey, bestie or sister, whoever, you guys are so close and I love that so much. I literally know that she's better off for it. And I just want you to know that I trust you. If you feel like I need to know something, you guys figure that out. And if not, I trust you. I will back off of that. And that is what really makes for that kind of strong relationship that actually has a protective factor against mental health issues and loneliness, anxiety. So it's really an important role.
That's so special. That's what I was going to ask you about, this protective effect. So you see that resonate in all aspects of the kids' lives.
Yeah, and this is research, really. This is really strong. And again, it's for both boys and girls. But that research is a lot of times under mentorship or just a special caregiver. So that special person in a kid's life as they're growing up is huge because if not, a kid when they're younger, it's great. Their parents are their universe. And then they start to get a little older, maybe those in between years, those tween times. And then they're a little confused because they're kind of like, I seem to want to care about what my friends think so much more than you. And they're starting to back off from their parents, but they could really still use that adult guidance. So it's really ideal if you can have that person kind of already in their lives before then. And then as they go through middle school and high school years, we see consistently over and over that trusted person is the person who they go to when they're in trouble, when they have to, oh God, I have to tell my parents something. Can you help me figure out how would I, say it to them? And so that person, oftentimes is in their lives forever and is just kind of an irreplaceable role.
I love that because as a parent, you always want it to be you come to me with everything, but that's not the reality. So why not provide and give them somebody that they can trust? I really like this. Dr. Ziegler, thank you so much.
You're welcome.